Morning, grade 10s. Welcome to Introduction to AutoCAD. This is just your first lesson where we're going to go through some of the basic tools and basic shortcuts and stuff like that. Now, there are other shortcuts, there are other YouTube videos. We are going to cover everything. This is literally just a very basic, just to get you going and just so you can understand. As soon as we get a little bit more into it and into detail, we will start going through more stuff and more shortcuts and explaining different variations and stuff that we can do. Okay. While we start, right at the top here, you'll see it will say home, insert. Okay. That is what we call the ribbon. Okay. Very important is your line, your circle, radius. Okay. Then you have your rectangle icon, and over here is your ellipse icon. Okay. Why? With your rectangle icon, if you drop it down, okay, you can also draw your polygons. So your octagons, hexagons, pentagons, all of those. If we just come back to circle, you can also draw your circles using radius or diameter. Okay. If we skip a few things, we're going to get to the dimensions and the text later. Okay. Over here, we've got your properties. Over here, we can drop down and use different colors, which help for your construction lines, all of that. When we get more in detail and more in depth in it, we will start using our layers. But just for the beginning, just to get the hang of it, we will use different colors. Okay. I like to use a line that's 25 mils. And then by layer is all your different line types, your center lines, hidden detail, hatching, all of that. Hatching is also over here, and that is what that little paw icon is there. Okay, so first things first, you should have this command center. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on your command center, and we are going to type in setup. First thing that should pop up is page setup. So I want you just to click on that and it will tell you model. And I want to go and modify it. Okay. Come along here to paper size. Okay. I always just change it to A3. Okay. I have an A3 printer attached to mine. You might have an A4. So you could then choose A4. Okay. Scale, I want to have 1:1. And over here, we can choose inches or millimeters, okay? SI unit for us would be millimeters. Everything we draw is in millimeters, so it's very, very important. And I want my drawing orientation to be landscape. So once I've got my millimeters, got my scale 1:1, my paper size, and I've got my landscape, I can press OK. Close, okay. Now at the bottom, you've got model, layout 1, layout 2. Layout 1 and layout 2 is where you actually print from. Model is where we draw. Okay. What I would like you to make sure of is right here at the bottom that your scale is also just 1:1. Okay. What we're going to do is just very basically do a few commands. So I'm going to click on line. You will see that I have now a plus sign. As soon as I have the plus sign, I know I can draw a line. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag my line. Okay. As you can see, you can drag it to different angles. And I can also drag it to different lengths. So I want that line just to be 800 for time being. And there it is, 800. Okay. With AutoCAD, it's very, very important that you use a mouse. The mouse on your laptop doesn't always work, so just get an external mouse. It just helps you a little bit. What you would notice on your toggle key or your round part of your mouse, you can actually zoom in and out. Okay, you can zoom in fast, zoom in slow, and that would actually help you. So if I zoomed in a lot, as we can see there, my 800 is actually across my whole page. But I want to be able to see my 800, so I can just zoom out and my 800 will fit onto the whole page. Okay. Have my line that is 800. I'm going to now click on circle and I want it to be on radius. Again, I have my plus sign. I'm going to go and click on the end of my 800 line and I want a radius of 150. As we can see nicely, it has now made my circle. Okay, if I come along to next to my dimension line and I click on radius and I zoom in there, I can see that my radius is 150. Okay, I don't want the radius there anymore, so I've just clicked on it and I've pressed delete. Now I'm going to click on line. From the end of my 800, or the start of my 800, shall I rather say, I want a line going up 90 degrees. You can see it tells you nearest, and then next to it says 90 degrees. I'm going to take it all the way to my circle. As we can see, it touches my circle, and I can now press escape. Okay, I only want that quarter of the circle. So I'm going to click on my 800 line, and I'm going to click on the line that I've just created as my radius. Okay, so 2 of those are clicked. I'm now going to come along to my scissors, which is my trim. Okay, if I click on that and I click on the outside of my radius because I want to keep the inside there, I can now delete the outside part of it. Okay, please remember this is just a very basic, just to get going into everything. If we come down to the bottom here, okay, you've got your snap setting, so it's either polar snap or grid set. Make sure it's always on grid set. Make sure that is always on model. Okay. I would like to come to the second icon, which says restrict cursor. If I click on that, I can change all my angles. So what you will see, mine at the moment is 18, 36, 54, and 72. That was because I was drawing pentagons the other day for a matric child and was part of extra lessons. I would like to draw at 30, 60, and 90. So now if I click on line and let's just change the color, let's make it red. I want to start my line over here and I want it at 30 degrees. Automatically it will snap to 30. I want it to go to 60, it would snap to 60, snap to 90. Going the other way, it would automatically snap to 120. What you will notice, there it snapped at 60. If I move it a little bit, you will see it doesn't snap, but it still shows me the measurements that it's, or the angles that it's moved down at. I want to just draw a line at 30 degrees and let's just make the distance 200. From there, I want to draw at 60 degrees to make it 90 degrees. Again, let's make that 200. Again, at 30 degrees, we'll make that distance 200, and I will close it off there. Again, these are all just very basic things. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a drawing where we can start to use some of these lines, which will now be part of our second lesson.